Member for Kira.
Thank you, Mr Assistant Speaker. It gives me great pleasure to rise on the great work, the great advocacy, but the big struggle that a young gentleman in my community is suffering, and that is Ben Oakley. Ben suffers from a rare disease known as fifth person syndrome. Ben has been advocating for some time now for the legalisation of medicinal cannabis. Mr Assistant Speaker, this is an issue that is very near and dear to my heart. It is something that I want to see this Parliament progress. It is something that I want to see members from across the political divide advocate for and agitate. I'm very, very proud that the Victorian Government recently, in an Australian first, legalised access to locally manufactured medicinal cannabis products for use in exceptional circumstances from 2017. I understand and I support the fact that the government is making some steps in regards to this here in New South Wales. But I urge the government to accelerate the process and take the lead of what has occurred in Victoria. We need, Mr Temporary Speaker, to get this right. Ben Oakley in my community has suffered, as many others have, for too long, trying to get access to a drug that provides him some quality of life, some relief of pain, a reduction in stress and de-stress within his family and for his loved ones. And I, for one, want to be a champion in this place of making sure that medicinal cannabis is legalised for those who need it most, for those with not just very severe and life-threatening conditions, but also for those with chronic pain. This shouldn't just be for the terminally ill, but it also should be for those who every day suffer enormous pain. In Victoria, the Commission down there recommended that eligibility for the scheme be based on the following conditions and corresponding symptoms: severe muscle spasms or severe pain, nausea, vomiting or wasting arising from a cancer, HIV/AIDS, severe seizures resulting from epileptic conditions where other treatment options have failed, very similar to what Ben has experienced, and severe chronic pain with the approval of 2 specialists. Mr Assistant Speaker, I come from a health education background, and no one will argue more than I am for strong controls of illegal substances. I'm not in the game of opening up drugs, and I'm not in the game of making it easier for people who don't need it to access illegal drugs. But what I am about, to be very blunt, is making sure that those individuals who need to access drugs such as medicinal cannabis can do it without feeling like criminals. In 2016, Mr Assistant Speaker, if our friends and colleagues in the Victorian Government and Parliament can do this, we should be able to do it here. The government made it clear that the Victorian Law Reform Commission did a lot of extensive work in this area. We want to make sure that we take the lead off the Victorians, not because we're in the game of copying what they are doing, but hopefully we are all in the game of helping those in our community, and they are across all of our communities, who are living with chronic pain, who are living with terminal illnesses, who are suffering each and every day, to provide them in a controlled, legal and highly regulated environment an opportunity for them to get some relief, and an opportunity for their family to get some respite and relief. Mr Assistant Speaker, these are issues that are very important to me. They are very important, I know, to many people and many members in this place. I hope that all of us can encourage the government to accelerate the current reforms they are on, to provide some relief for those in our community who need it most.
The parliamentary